Struggling to get a good night's sleep? I've been there. 18 years of a crazy schedule. It wrecked my sleep. And I thought I could power through. But trust me, sleep is everything. Today I'm sharing what I've learned from sleep experts, my own sleep lab tests, and even a lesson from my mom about late night chocolate. Don't miss this episode. It might just change the way you sleep. Hi there, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're talking about something we all need, but we don't always get enough of: sleep. Now, let me tell you, I know what it's like to have a terrible night's sleep. I spent 18 years as a morning show anchor, waking up at ungodly hours, 2:30 in the morning. Yep, when we should be snoozing away. I thought I was doing everyone a favor. I was working hard. I was home for the kids after school. I was able to volunteer, cook dinner. I thought I was doing it all, but I was so wrong. I was exhausted. My health suffered, and I wasn't the person God made me to be when I was getting just 5 hours of sleep each night. At the time, I was convinced that I could manage it. My life revolved around the clock, that alarm clock, and my sleep or lack of sleep. And while I thought I was handling it, my body was not handling it. I have some sleep research and advice for you today, and you're going to want to hear it. But before I get started, I want to encourage you to follow the podcast, share it with someone, and leave me a review. My hope is to help someone who might not otherwise have all of this information and could use the tips and the encouragement. So my sleep story is a saga I'm not going to go really into very deep. The most important part of it is that I have advice you can learn from, and I have interviewed thousands of health experts, including doctors, psychologists, researchers, you name it. They all say something similar about sleep. It is key to being healthy and happy. In my early news career, I really thought that I could manage things, trying to prove something. And all I did was prove that I was tired and that I was human. We are made to rest. Sleep has become a non-negotiable part of my life now. As a health journalist, I've not only interviewed sleep experts, but I've done an overnight sleep lab test, and I've learned the science behind why sleep is so essential. And today, that's what I want to bring you. So let's dive in. First off, why is sleep so important? Well, here's what the science says. For your body, sleep keeps your heart healthy. It balances our hormones. It even helps with weight management. Lack of sleep is linked to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. For your mind, sleep helps process emotions and memories. I remember my adult daughter telling me recently that she had some wild dreams. And you know what I told her? Good, because that means your mind is actually working through something. A study from Columbia Psychiatry shows that those not getting enough sleep can have mood swings, anxiety, difficulty handling stress. Our brains depend on sleep for learning, creativity, and decision-making. I like to think of it as a broom that comes in overnight and just sweeps everything up. Without sleep, we struggle with focus. Our reaction time is poor. Our problem-solving struggles. I'm going to link a study from Nature Neuroscience for you if you want to go into the depths of this. And it's fascinating in this study how sleep is like the data center that, like that broom I mentioned, sweeps our brains every single night. So skimping on sleep isn't just making you tired, it's affecting everything in your life. So let me take you back to my morning show days. My alarm clock went off in the middle of the night, as I mentioned, 2:30. I can't even imagine that now. My body never really knew what time it was. And even when I had the chance to sleep in, I couldn't. My body was all over the place. I didn't know what it was like to feel normal because I just always felt exhausted. Then I started interviewing sleep experts. I even did an overnight sleep lab test to understand just what was happening with my body. I went in, they attached probes all over my head with like a cement type plaster. It was disgusting. It took me months, not months, but days to get all of that stuff out of my hair. And this is when it really hit me after this test. I had been ignoring one of the most important aspects of my health. And when I finally committed to a consistent sleep schedule, everything changed. I felt mentally sharper, less irritable, and way more energetic. The reason my sleep was so off is because it was broken. It wasn't consistent. And I just wasn't getting the deep sleep we all need. What did that sleep study show? Exactly what you think it did. I never got in to that deep sleep cycle that we need for our bodies to repair. And now I prioritize my sleep like my health depends on it, because it absolutely does. If you're struggling with sleep, I want to tell you, you're not alone. Maybe you're thinking, Natalie, I'm trying to get a good night's sleep. I can't fall asleep. I can't wake up at the same time because I'm groggy in the morning. I totally understand that, and I want to talk about that here in a minute as well. I know how busy life gets. Work, family, the other commitments that we have, everything seems to get in the way of getting a good night's sleep. So today I want to give you some advice and some of the biggest things that might be getting in your way. First of all, it might be your irregular sleep schedule. If you're going to bed and waking up at different times every day, your body doesn't know when to sleep or what to expect. So set a time and stick to it for going to bed and for waking up. Are you ready to launch a side gig, maybe a small project or business? Need a professional logo that won't break the bank? Looka is the AI-powered logo maker that's perfect for entrepreneurs and freelancers. With Looka, you can create a stunning, unique logo in minutes without breaking the bank. Just answer a few simple questions about your brand and watch as Looka generates hundreds of custom logo options. It's like having a team of professional designers at your fingertips. So why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Visit natalietysdal.com/favorites and start creating the logo your side gig or your small project deserves. I was recently on a trip, and one of the guys in the group told me that he goes to bed at 9:12 every night. He said, it's kind of weird, like my body just shuts down. He's done exactly what I'm asking you to do. Maybe not as early as 9:12, but set a time and stick to it. Your body starts to expect that, and it's ready to fall asleep when the time comes. Then in the morning, when your alarm goes off, don't hit that snooze button. Just put your feet on the ground. This is how I got up at 2:30 in the morning. People ask me this all the time. Just put your feet on the ground as hard as it is. Once you're up, you splash some water on your face, brush your teeth, or shower, whatever your routine is. I used to actually shower at night when I had that early schedule because I tried to get every extra minute I could. But for most people, it's get up, take a shower, brush your teeth. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you're on your way. If you just do this for a few weeks, you will form that habit. The next thing that might be getting in your way, stress and anxiety. Ever laid in bed just replaying every awkward thing you said 10 years ago? Yeah, me too. Stress keeps your brain wired when you need to be winding down. Check out a study that I found from Columbia University proving that sleep regularity is key. I'll put that in the show notes if you want to read the study like I do. Next, and maybe you've heard this, but you haven't prioritized it, screens before bed. That blue light from your phone or TV, it suppresses melatonin. You might hear this everywhere. Turn off your phone before you go to bed, and you're wondering why. Well, it suppresses melatonin, and that is the hormone that helps you sleep. You can take melatonin supplements, but all you're doing is increasing the melatonin in an artificial way because you're looking at the screens that's taking it away. So why not just give yourself that extra half hour? Some experts even say an hour to put the phone away, even though you want to scroll at night. We all do. Just give it a few weeks and see what happens when you put the phone across the room before bed and see how well you sleep without it. Next, and this might be a surprise to you, caffeine and chocolate at night. Here's a funny story. I went to visit my parents a few weeks ago, and I don't know about you, but in my family, we always say in the morning, how did you sleep? I do it to my kids too. One of the mornings I was there, my mom, she had a rough night of sleep, and she swore it was because we had chocolate after 7 p.m. Does that affect you? We actually stayed up to watch a movie. We ordered some food, and it turns out she's right. Caffeine, which by the way, if you didn't know, chocolate has caffeine in it, it stays in your system for hours, making it harder to fall asleep. The Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine states that chocolate contains caffeine and other stimulants, one of which is called theobromine, which can also keep you awake. So if you're sensitive to caffeine, or maybe you don't think you're sensitive, but you are, cutting it off earlier in the day, like 3 p.m., that might help you sleep better. Try it. Let me know how it goes. So now that we know what's messing with our sleep, let's talk about some solutions. First of all, stick to that sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends. According to the National Sleep Foundation, again, not my advice, just research, your body loves routine. Next, wind down before bed. Put the phone away, read a book, do some stretching, maybe take a warm bath to signal your brain that it's time to go to sleep. I am a big believer in that. I love my evening bath. I have a hard time sleeping without a warm bath. I put Epsom salts, that's also calming, in a warm bath. And next, cut the late night stimulants. No caffeine after 3. And if you're really sensitive, keep the chocolate out of your diet. Have chocolate for breakfast instead of dinner. No, don't really do that. But maybe the caffeine in the chocolate is affecting you. And next, create a sleep-friendly environment. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Blackout curtains, a fan, even a comfy mattress. If you don't have one, maybe it's time to invest in that. That can really make a difference. And lastly, manage stress before bed. Try some breathing exercises, prayer, or journaling. Clear out your mind before you go to sleep. This is proven to help prepare your body for rest. I know that fixing your sleep isn't always easy, but trust me, it will be worth it and it will affect your overall health. I feel 100 times better now than I did during my crazy morning show days. And I want the same for you. Try a few of these tips, see how you feel. And if this episode helped you, share it with a friend who needs better sleep. Thanks for joining me today. I want you to know that I'm rooting for you and your sleep. It's a really important part of your overall health journey. And if you want a list of my tips for waking up early, I've created a free download that you can access, and I'll leave a link in today's show notes. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next week. Thank you for joining the Natalie Tysdal podcast. You can follow along on Instagram and at natalietysdal.com. Subscribe to the show to catch every new episode and leave a review so I can continue to bring you fresh content. See you next week.